Hi everybody, PixsiStixs here. Today we are looking at another Sims 4 speed build. Today is the first time I'm gonna try doing a voiceover during the speed build, so bear with me a little bit. I'm still kind of new at this, and I am trying to keep these voiceovers as real and as authentic as possible. So my attempt will be one take. Whether or not I stick to that is still up for review. Um, we are currently building in Pinecrest Apartment number 402 in Evergreen Harbor, the eco lifestyle world of The Sims 4. This is my first build with the new Nifty Knitting pack. Um, and I really wanted to embrace some of those fun pastel colors we got with that pack. At first, I wanted to make this apartment for like a little lady who's with her knitting. Um, and then I was thinking about it some more, and I personally crochet. I'm a very crafty person. I enjoy it quite a bit. And I wanted someone who I thought of as like my age living in this apartment. Because honestly, if I was single and it was just me and my cat, I would live here. Like, I totally love this apartment. I do struggle a few areas with getting the apartment laid out right. It's originally it's a two bedroom, and I didn't want that. I wanted the living room to have some of those big windows because I did upgrade the neighborhood to be the eco-friendly whatever it is. Um, so it does have these big, beautiful windows in the back of the apartment. So my thought was I would make the kitchen up front here with like a little entryway, and then we'd put the bedroom and the living room in the back. So with the kitchen, originally I wanted more like retro-y apartments. I was thinking of like the 1950s pastel pink apartment or pastel greens. Um, and I wasn't as crazy about the what I felt was the more vintage looking appliances. So what I did is I took these Parenthood ones, and they have this gorgeous mint green color, and I thought it went so well with the tile I used in the backsplash. So I went ahead and with those. So it's still getting those vibes, but maybe being a little more modern and updated. Oh my goodness, this curtain right here. I try so many times to use that freaking curtain. I think I do eventually end up using in the living room. But I love that curtain. It's one of my favorites. I only recently finished collecting all of the stuff packs and game packs and expansion packs. So there's still a lot of items that I haven't had a chance to really look at and fall in love with, because I haven't explored all the packs as they've come out like some simmers have. I was gifted a couple, and then I won't lie, I had some extra money. They were on sale, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the last four that I need. So that's what I did. Right here, you're going to see me using this little red shelf, and you're going to see this little red shelf in my builds often. I want to say it's called the OMSP shelf. There's a simmer on YouTube I watch called Fantasia. She uses this shelf quite often. If I remember correctly, it's Fantasia. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Um, I will link that shelf in the description. It's super helpful. I only recently discovered it. It does help me get things to put like in the windowsill and things like that because you can adjust the height. It is not in the build, so when you download this from the gallery, you won't have to worry about CC because I don't leave it in the build. I end up just putting it back in my family's household inventory when I move my builder sim to the next lot we're gonna build. So you don't have to worry about any CC in this build if you don't want any. It is all completely in the game objects. Um, but that shelf is like lifesaver. There are so many times where I've like, oh, this thing is I've raised it up and now it's floating and it's not working the way I want it to, so I'm just gonna delete it. And I discovered this shelf like I want to say like 3 months ago, and I cannot tell you how often I use it. Ridiculously often. So I'm just using it to clutter everything up in here. Um, when I do my builds, I like them to look lived in. I like my Sims places to look like someone lives there and that their things are there and they've got mail on the counter and cupcakes in the cake thing, and I really want my Sims builds to feel like homes. Or um, I've got another speed build coming in a few days that is like a town hall thing, and I wanted it to look like people work there and those desks and cubbies belong to someone. And this shelf has really stepped my game up with that. Um, so I honestly, if you're a builder like me, I definitely cannot recommend it more to you. Like it is amazing. Will change the way you play the game. Um, right here, I tried so hard. There's a white brick that some of the simmers on YouTube I watch use, and I can't for the life of me find it. I really wanted like an exposed brick wall on the outside edges of the apartment because I love the look of exposed brick, but I didn't want it to be red brick. I wanted it to be like the brick is exposed, but we painted over it and you can still see the brick. But I just couldn't find one that I really connected with and really liked. Um, that's a struggle I've had a few times, I won't lie. Right here, I thought about changing the backsplash because I felt like at first it was getting to be a little too pastel, a little too girly, and at this point, I still was building for like this little old lady and hadn't decided to build for the younger sim yet. I did end up creating a sim to live here. Her name is Kinsley North, and she has a white Persian cat named Honey. They do live in this apartment in the save file I'm building. They are available on my gallery. At the end of the video, you'll see some screenshots, and they are both featured in the screenshots. Um, so I do. I want to say it doesn't like as soon as I start putting cat things in the apartment was when I changed my mind. Um, because I was like, well, I have to have the cat in here, and then I was like, but do I want like a little old lady and her like elderly cat, or do I want to do with something a little more a little younger, someone who maybe is very into vintage things, maybe like an old soul at heart, but she's young. So I do end up building this for Kinsley and Honey. Um, right here, I'm doing the entryway area. I struggle with this a little bit too. I think, I'll be honest, the living room is the one I struggled the most on, and when we get there, you will see why. But I struggled a little bit here because I hate having these like tables in the front like entryway that have nothing on them but like flowers. I again like my places to feel lived in. Like you'll notice over in this laundry area right here, I have the bucket with the cleaning supplies and then the basket with the yarn and things like that. I want it to feel like someone actually lives here so that you, while you're playing, can connect to these Sims. I feel like that makes it so much easier when you're playing the game. Um, So I want it to feel very homey and very cozy, and I struggled with what to put on that end table, as I often do in entryways. Like, entryways are difficult for me. Um, but I think I got a pretty good layout for it. Okay, so here's me desperately trying to figure out this freaking living room. It is so tiny. Um, it's like super tiny. I mean, this is the area where the second bedroom was originally, and I I struggled like, yeah, I moved everything over because I decided I wanted, like, when you go to put your shoes on before you leave the house over, I decided I wanted a chair there. But yeah, this living room is super tiny. I It's such a struggle. I don't usually do living rooms in such a tiny space. I usually try to do them in the bigger part of the house and then do like the kitchen in the tiny space because it's easier to do a kitchen in a tiny space. But this time, because I wanted those big windows in the living room, I ended up with a very small space because I wanted a full bathtub in the bathroom. I didn't want like a standing shower, because if I had made that bathroom a little smaller and done like a stall shower, I would have had plenty of space in that living room. But I didn't want that because I feel like, um, especially in an apartment like this, at least in apartments of people that I know, I feel like that shower tub combination. Oh, give me one second. Sorry, there was a little bit of, I had to sneeze. That shower tub combination is, I feel like, pretty generic, pretty basic in apartments, at least in most apartments that I've been to. I mean, I have lived in some with much smaller bathrooms. Um, but I just didn't want that. I didn't want a teeny tiny dinky little bathroom in this place because I feel like this place might be a little more on the expensive side, or nicer side. At least I live in California. Everything's expensive here. This kind of apartment would legitimately cost so much where I live. And so I was kind of building with that in mind. And if I'm paying that much for an apartment, it better have a bathtub. You saw me put down some cat items here. This is where I decided who it was going to be for. I do eventually end up moving that rocking chair out of the living room. It just doesn't work there. There is a rocking chair in the apartment because, like I said, it was my first time building with Nifty Knitting, and I desperately wanted that rocking chair. I wanted to originally build this in the apartment next door where there's that balcony, but the balcony's fake, so it's not like I could put the rocking chair on the balcony without tool mod, which I haven't downloaded yet. I plan on downloading when I do that apartment for my save file. Um, but when I'm just doing these builds to put up on YouTube and to put on my gallery for other people, I don't want to use the tool mod too much. Um, just because I know that sometimes things placed with tool mod can, at least from my own experience on lower end computers before I got the computer I have now, those items can make the game kind of buggy, and I don't, or laggy rather, and I don't want that. So I probably won't use tool mod too much in builds where I'm going to put them up on the gallery. When I do eventually finish and release my save file, there will be some stuff that's placed with tool mod. Like that apartment, for example, I will be putting stuff on that balcony, but I just didn't want to do that this time, which is why I ended up building in this apartment. This is me deciding to get rid of that rocking chair in the living room right there. That's the other thing I like about the OMSP shelf. I'm sorry, this is all over the place. The little yarn bowls that I kind of stacked there without that shelf, that would not have been possible. And I think that is such a cute little touch. As someone who has yarn all over, oh, there's me using the curtain. As someone who has yarn all over the place in my own home, I wanted it to feel like their crafting had just kind of gone everywhere. Um, and the same thing with, I'm so sorry, I'm so stuffed up right now. I apologize if I sound funny or if, like, you can hear me breathing. I'm so congested. Uh, Anyway, oh, I right here I'm adding a little more. I decided there wasn't enough light. I don't necessarily like using the ceiling lights, the round space savers saucer things, um, because while they do light the place up while you're building, they just don't give me that homey feeling. So I did move everything around so that I could put that lamp on the table. Here I'm working on the bedroom. I really love this bed with this quilt. I think that's eco lifestyle. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it came with. I love how cozy and comfy it looks. Like I sleep with blankets. Like it the room has got to be super cold and I have to have a blanket on or I can't sleep. And that looks like something that I would have myself. I also wanted to make sure there was a big cat tree in here because I feel like she's probably someone who like the cat is everything. So I wanted to make sure that, the cat had some nice homey touches, this big cat tree in her bedroom. I do wish we had a slightly smaller, maybe a little taller cat tree. Um, just because I feel like that one takes up too much space, but the smaller cat tree is just so short and little. It's not even a tree, it's a box. Um, but we work with what we've got, and because I don't use CC, this is what I got. I also really love these hanging plants from Nifty Knitting. I put them everywhere in this apartment. Uh, they are so cute and so versatile, and I love them, and I love the idea of like this sim just knitting everything and like her crafts kind of all over the place. Um, so I liberally used the plants from Nifty Knitting. I think I also used some of the plants from it was either University or Tiny Living. I don't know. There's a lot of packs in this build. I'm working on a base game starter home. Uh, but I haven't been limiting myself, and I'm sorry if that makes it. Oh, I decided purple in here. I like the purple better, and there was a little too much pink in the living room. Um, anyway, I don't limit myself on packs when I build, just because I feel like I'm building for my save file, so I want them to be things that I will play with. I am going to make sure I have some builds that are, one or two packs so that there are more people who are able to download and play with my lots. Now I'm just doing some little tweaks, making sure the lot has a computer because computers are so necessary. Here are my screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm still getting used to the voiceover thing. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you. Bye.